Hi there. Thank you so much for watching this program. My name is Eric Biantuadi. I'm a senior journalist based in West Africa. In this program, we will talk about DRC elections. As you may know, the DRC was in the election in 20 December this year. What's the major role for these elections? Let us come back to President Felix Tshisekedi election in 2018. The president has been elected in 2018 after the president Joseph Kabila passed the democracy for the first time in the story or the history of Congo. So today with me, I have a lawyer, someone who has commitment in the sector of law, in the political and some analysis. So, Christian, thank you so much for being a part of this program. We appreciate your time to come to debate about election in DRC Congo. Can you introduce to our viewer who you are?
So thank you very much, Eric, for inviting me. My name is Christian Junior Kabang. I'm from the Democratic Republic of Congo, of course, and I'm a professor of law at the Law School of the University of Kinshasa, and I'm also a lawyer. I've been practicing law in Congo for now. It should be 13 years. So, and I have a lot of interest in subject that revolve around democracy, sustainable development, and seeing African countries moving forward. So, pretty much that's what I can say about me. We have law and good laws in Congo. Of course, there is no country in the world that has a perfect law, even in the US. And so, everywhere, that the reason why you have people in parliament always trying to think about how to improve the law. But Congo has a legal system that rests upon the constitution. We have a constitution that was adopted in 2006 through referendum, and then we have also common laws. I mean, after the constitution, we have normal law that the parliament can adopt, and so of course, so I don't understand why people will think that Congo has some kind of rubbish law. I mean, that's not true. That's not exact.
Great. So we'll come back about that. What kind of how the government of DRC are trying to improve is a sector of law. We noticed that since President Felix Antoine Tshisekedi come in the power, he tried to give more power to the justice so that the justice system in DRC became something that people will respect, and Congolese will get back their dignity in terms of reputations and whatever that's happening in that country. So, as I mentioned earlier in this show, we are going to talk about the DRC elections. Let us start first about the vote, the campaign. How did you see the campaign rolling during in that period of 1 month that the government declare all the candidacy should drop their files? Those who want to be to run for the presidential and the deputy.
I think that there is a time frame that the law gives to each and every candidate, especially at the presidential level. And what I can say is that um, in general, everything went well. Like everyone was able to go around the country. without restriction. But of course, I can't say that it was perfect, totally perfect, because some places we have some act of violence against people who were disagreeing each other about supporting this candidate or not. But of course, when you go through an electoral process, especially in an African context, you know that everything is not always perfect. But all in all, I think that the campaign to me was good with minor incidents here and there. But all in all, I think it was peacefully. But what I can also say is that unfortunately, we had like 26 candidates that were running for the presidential election. But among them, it's surprising, or we try to understand why some of them will even come and go and give the name as a candidate when they don't have money, they don't have the resources to do the campaign. Some of them didn't even travel in one single town to campaign and ask people to vote for them. So pretty much, for those who were able to do it, I would say that everything went well. We have minor incidents here and there, but I mean it's part of the game. It's part of the process. Of course, we wish that next time it should be much better. Yeah, that's
Okay, so Christian, you are a professor of law. We know that the Congo law has passed through a such difficulties period to establish as one of the powerful law in Africa. Uh, let's say during the start of the campaign, uh, I would like to talk about President Felix Tshisekedi and his counterpart, his challenger, Moise Katumbi, who is what people say he's one that can face the president, the uncapable president Felix Tshisekedi, Moise Katumbi. Uh, Moise Katumbi was allowed to participate in the elections, and while campaigning, the government say that this not it wasn't directly the government, but the suspicion come around his campaign that we even see on some social media that he has a Zambian passport. The question is, how come the government let Moise Katumbi to work to run for election if they knew that he's a Zambian?
the question. So here, I think I need first to explain how the process of being accepted as a candidate works. Okay, so what you need to do if you want to run for presidency, first of all, there are a couple of documents that you need to submit to the national body that organize election, the National Commission that organize election, which in our country is not really part of the government. Like, let me give you an example. Like, if you go in France, they will tell you straight that the government, the minister of internal affairs, is the one who organize election. But in our country, it's different. The constitution put a what we call an independent commission that should be like let's say the church in the middle of the village, right? They're not supposed to be too close to the government or to the opposition. Their job is just to organize election. So if you want to run for election as a president, what you need to do is to provide them with couple of documents. And among the document, there is one document that is required to show that you are a Congolese who can really run for president, and we call it a certificate of citizenship. So in 2018, if I can go back a little bit, because we are talking about Moise Katumbi, in 2018, the President Kabila and his people made a plan not to let him run because they said that he was not, I think, a Congolese because he didn't provide any some kind of document. I mean, certificate of citizenship. That's what we knew at that time. So this time again, when he submitted the his application to the electoral body, it was accepted. Yes, it was accepted. But after the electoral commission accepts your application, they still have to send it to the constitutional court for the final say. So when it went to the constitutional court, everybody was sure that they will do something to stop him because people thought that President Tshisekedi won't let the game to be fair. But the Constitutional Court just went through his application and they were able to find a certificate of citizenship. That's the reason why he was able to have his name put on the list of candidates. Now, later on during the campaign, there is this story that came up that actually Moise Katumbi used to have a Zambian passport. So he has never denied it or accepted it, so which I don't know. But what I know is that the Congolese law says that even if you run for election, even if you are elected, if later on we came to find out a genuine evidence that you are not eligible for election, they can still cancel your election and take you out of office. So now, is it true that Moise Katumbi had a Zambian passport or not? I'm not in a position to confirm that. I just saw it on social media as well. But if that's the case, that will disqualify him to be a president. But if that was not the case, because sometimes there is a lot going on with social media, so there is no reason for him not to run. There was no reason for him to run for the presidency.
In Congo has intelligence service. When it comes about handling a passport to someone, the person passed through huge number of intelligence service. So, are we going to say that our intelligence service didn't take more care to let the people and the government know that, let's say, for example, if not Moise Katumbi, another person like in the parliament who's holding another passport, who are we going to blame for that? Who are we going to say that did he not do his job well?
Well, I mean, I'm not going really to go on the intelligence service side because whatever the intelligence service does is most of time on the ground, so you don't really know what is happening inside there. But I think that as far as immigration is concerned, it won't make sense that somebody who call himself Congolese is able to come across the border with another passport. Because when you want to cross the border, you have to present your passport, your ID, and you have to answer a couple of questions because they want to know what you're coming to do in the country and where you're going. So I'm not really going to put the blame on the government, but what I know that the law says that if you call me a stranger, you say that I'm a foreigner, I'm not a Congolese. By the time I'm able to show you my certificate of citizenship, that should be enough according to the law to show that I'm a Congolese. Now, if you have the proof that that certificate was not supposed to be given to me because I have another citizenship, then you can bring that issue in the court or to first of all to the minister of justice who provide for certificate of citizenship and show them that they were not supposed to provide the person with that. You see, so it's a little bit hard to say who to blame. First of all, because we need to establish what is the truth of the matter, and then from there we're gonna know. But as I said, the window is still open. If down the line, let's say if he had to win, which I don't even believe that is going to happen, but even if he had to win, if it later on we came to discover that it was really he had another citizenship, the law gave the constitutional court the power to cancel that election because it will be found ineligible.
We noticed that during the campaign there was some a violence verbal way of campaigning among some people who did the campaign. We had this problem for Moise Katumbi. He's not a Congolese, he's a Congolese. And we had a many confusion among those who was recalled or called to vote for 20 December. Do you think that this can have the impact in the future?
Um, First of all, what I want to say is that the Congolese law, like the law that organized elections, says that you can say whatever you want during the campaign, but you have to make sure that you don't insult people. You don't use word that can be offending, because otherwise the prosecutor can come after you. You see, but if let's say if I say don't vote for this guy because he's not going to help the country because he's working for another country agenda, something like that. So it's part of the political tactic or way of doing it, and as long as it's nothing like insulting others or stigmatizing on people, it's fine. Okay, but as far as the case of Moise Katumbi is concerned, I can say that there was this debate about what people used to call the low Chani. I don't know if you heard about it, where this Congolese political actress was saying that the parliament should enforce a law that says that if you want to run for presidency, you have to be a Congolese from both sides, meaning you're from your dad and your mom, and that whoever is not a Congolese from both parents should not be accepted or admitted to run for election at that level, and to even be given some position, some specific position in the government. But unfortunately, I mean, I won't say unfortunately, but unfortunately for the guy who, I mean, the politician who was supporting that view, the parliament never enforced that law. Okay. But, you know, there is what we call the psychological effect of something that the citizens are listening every day. So if they keep telling them every day that we need to have a law that only allow Congolese from both sides to be president because of what happened in the eastern part of the country. And people are trying to infiltrate the government to do this and that. And that Moise Katumbi is one of them. So even if the law was not enforced, but you can tell that some people from among the citizens start believing that he was one of them. And when people come to that perception of of him being like a foreigner or like they won't cast a vote on you. So you see, it can have an impact on the result, definitely. But I mean, uh, the law was not enforced. It's just something that politicians were speaking about, and I mean, it's part of the game.
People went on 20 December to vote despite what we saw during the campaign, all those challenges and all those difficulties before the 20 December, all those attack words, all those strong words among opposition and the government. Finally, people went to vote on 20 December. You, as a lawyer and a professor in law, how did you see the organization of that elections from the beginning and from the end? That means the end, we're in the stage now of we are having a primary result.
To answer this question, I will start by reminding that this was the fourth cycle of election that Congo has known so far. The first one was in 2006, the second one in 2011, and then 2018, and this is the fourth one. So if you look at all of them, you will notice that there is three kind of challenges that we always face when it comes to organizing election. There is the financial challenge, like getting enough money to organize election, and there is the challenge related to logistic, like to gather the material and to make sure that the material is like dispatched in the country. And there is the security challenge, especially in the eastern part of Congo, which even caused some of the people not to have a chance to cast the vote because that part of the country was not under the government control. So when you look at all this and now you try to analyze what happened this year, you will notice that like 2 weeks before election, people were still in doubt that we would have election on that specific date of December the 20th, because the material were not yet dispatched in the country, and there was some kind of hesitation. So, but the National Electoral Commission was able to confirm that they will still face the challenge and organize election on that date. Now, question is, um, having election is one thing, but how election happen? Is it good election, bad election? That's another question.
How did you see the primary results? We know that the President Felix Tshisekedi is coming on the top from those cities that has been declared already. How did you see the result is going? How did you see that?
There is two ways of viewing it. Like from a political perspective, you need to understand that in Congo there is no way you can win election by yourself. You need to go and make partnership, political partnership, yes, with other political organization. And the quality of the kind of islands or agreement or partnership that you make with others determine your chances to win election. So now, if you look at Felix Tshisekedi, Moise Katumbi, and all of them, the way they were preparing, like the kind of partnership they created around them to win this election, you will notice that most of the big political parties in the country decided to support Felix Tshisekedi. So, which give him a big advantage because those political parties are represented in almost all part of the country, from the west to the center to the east. And as I mentioned, in 2011, the parliament tried to change our constitution because we used to have an election where for you to be elected as a president, you have to at least have a score of 50 and a little bit more percent. Okay. Then, because it was hard at the time when Kabila and Bemba faced each other, so when Kabila was able to be elected in 2006, his people tried to change the constitution, or they did change the constitution in 2011 to make it like whoever comes first, even if you have 5%, 6%, whoever comes first win the election. So it become a little bit more easy for somebody who has more political partnership on the ground to receive more vote from the people than those who don't. So, if you want to understand why Felix Tshisekedi is coming ahead of this election as the leader of so far on the score that we have received from the National Electoral Body, it because most of the political organizations supporting him has been doing an underground work in almost the four corners of the countries. Okay. Now, another way to view the result as well is because we should be aware that there were a lot of shortcomings in the organization of the vote. So no one can deny that. That was the fact that some of the electoral centers open late. Some of them just open the next day, and some people were not able to cast the vote because maybe the name was not on the list. But this is a part of the fact that the electoral process is not always perfect. So you should expect that somehow, some ways, shortcomings can happen. But what the law says is this: when there is shortcomings in the electoral process, you need, because every candidate has to have witness around the country the day of election. They should be able to make sure that whatever shortcoming or irregularity that they notice is put on the final report of election. So if you are able to get all those reports and then bring them to the constitutional court to show them that the shortcomings were too many to the point that the results that were announced cannot be correct, then the constitutional court, if they are able to accept the kind of evidence that you provide, then they can say, okay, we're going to cancel election, which can be to cancel the whole election or to cancel part of it. But here is where we are. When you ask whoever has look at the election, they will tell you, yes, we had shortcoming. If somebody deny that, then the person is not honest. But the biggest question we are struggling with now is how far those shortcomings will impact on the result being announced by the national electional body, because that's the main issue. If the shortcomings are not such that they're going to change the result, then the election are fair, and there is no way the constitutional court is going to cancel them. But if the opposition, because that's why they're asking now, if opposition is able to prove that whatever the national electoral body is giving now as a result is not correct, is fraudulent, if they are able to establish that with evidence, then the constitutional court will have to take the decision to cancel them. But we are not yet at that level. So, as far as the political perspective was before this election, I'm not surprised to see Felix Tshisekedi coming as a head of among the candidates.
So there is some of a group of the opposition. We have Martin Fayulu and we have Theodore Ngoi, who's also one of the candidates for presidency. And we have also Moise Katumbi, who joined that movement. They say that they have to march in Kinshasa in this weekend, Wednesday, so that they can claim the Article 64. What does Article say when it comes about our rights of as a citizen?
The Congolese people, or part of the Congolese people, has the right to oppose whoever is trying to get into power by force, which is when we say by force, it coups, or um, whoever is trying to exercise power in violation of the constitution.
which is not what Felix Tshisekedi is doing now. That's not exact. That's not at all.
to to become a president and to get access to the presidency is through election, because that's what the constitution is saying. And what we are doing now, what the national electoral body is doing now, is organizing election. So if you disagree with the result, the law, the electoral law says that you have to proceed in this and this and that way. So you have to go before the constitutional court for presidency and for the parliament at the national level, and present your grief, your whatever you feel that is not correct, and the reason why you need the constitutional court to cancel the result and maybe decide that you're the winner. Right? That's the process. But now you use section 64 when somebody want to stay in power or to get access in power in violation of the constitution. So let's say in 2016, when President Kabila came to the end of of his second term, so if he wanted to stay there without organizing election, without having anything to do with what the constitution says, that's the kind of situation where you say, where the people says, okay, we're going to use section 64 of the constitution to push him out of office. You see, but this is not the case in this context. The problem that we have with the opposition in Congo is that whenever that you come into to the election process, you have to go up to the end and accept the rule, because in electoral culture there is only two ways: either you win or you lose. So if you win, for them it's fine, but if they lose, as opponent, they don't want to listen to anything else. They just want to say, "Hey, we need to cancel this. This is fraudulent. This is like we really need to grow up to the level where those in power and as well those in opposition should accept that when we go for election, we have either a winner or a loser. We should be on either side of them. If you lose, just accept it. We just saw the recent case in, I think that was Liberia, where George Weah was defeated, and you see the percentage was not that big. So he could have said, I don't believe in those results. I don't want those results. I will just fight to stay in power. But because he has a high level of electoral culture, he say, no, I lost. That's it. And I think the opposition in Congo, even though in the example I gave, that was the president, but the opposition in Congo who accepted to take part of the process should use the legal means to contest the result, instead of saying we're going to use section 64 and take the people outside. I don't even believe that Congolese people are that, excuse my word, that stupid to decide that they will go again on the street just to please a politician who was not able to be elected. So I'm not sure it's going to happen. They can go out.
Okay, that means they will be illegal to march on the Wednesday because there is not a law that can protect them. There is not a case like Felix Tshisekedi want to stay in the power. We are not in that stage.
That context. But as far as doing a march, the constitution is gives you the freedom. You can go on the street and say what you want to say, but by the time you start to threaten the public order, by the time you start to threaten other citizen peace and life, then the government can stop you. But as long as you do it peacefully, you say what you want to say, it's fine, it's your right. Okay. But as I said, if you try to take power using that mean, then the government has the right to stop you. The government has the right to remind you that if you want to exercise power, you will have to go through election, because that's the way. If you don't want to go that way, there's no way you can go on the street and try to reverse the political institution of the country. Yeah.
Okay, great. So I have one question. In this time that there is votes undergoing, we know that the former president of Seni, Kone Nanga, who declared last time that he's going to he has set up even his party called Movement for Congo River. So he said that they want to come to liberate Congo. Let's say, for example, in this time that election result is going on, if something that come interrupts and it destroyed all this process we have now, in the right, according to the law, what is going to happen in the country? If in this stage, let's say like on the Wednesday, the opposition march and the trouble starts and everything is messed up in Congo, what is going to happen? We know that the law will give the army and the police the right to arrest them. Yeah, that's the law. But what is going to happen in the process that we have now?
For section 64, and I will explain. Like when you listen to what Mr. Nanga and the people with him were saying in Kenya, and it is unfortunate that President Ruto called it the expression of democracy. That's not an expression of democracy. That's a plan to go and reverse the constitutional order in a country, and we call it subversion, subversive activity, and it's illegal. You can't, and there is the African Charter on Constitution and Election that require that no one has a right to do coups. Everybody has to go through election, and if they want to access to power. So if Corneille Nanga was honest, he should have come and compete to become also president. You see, now if he decide to come and try to exercise power by force, the Congolese people have the right to stop him based on Section 64, because they will remind him that, sir, we don't want to go back 25 years back or 35 years back when Mobutu was there, or when we have agreed on a constitution that was adopted to referendum in 2006, that everyone who want to run for presidency has to go through election. So this is a case where the people can really stand up and stop him. But as I mentioned, the government has a right to fight against those people, because this is not a traditional political party. It's like a rebellion movement, right? So the country, the government has the right to fight them. And I think that's what President Tshisekedi was saying recently when talking on one of the local chat.
Mhm. Okay, so the country is just stopped now to the word of Seni. We are waiting for Seni to declare who's the winner for the election. As we know, they say Seni, the Commission, Independent Electoral Commission, in all countries, they're the one, they are the right institution to say who's the winner for elections. So once they declare this is the winner for the elections, then we have now to wait for the institutional court to confirm and to validate what Seni or Independent Commission said, Electoral Commission said. Uh, in some countries, this leads the the country in trouble. Let's say, for example, here in Cote d'Ivoire, in 2010, when there was election between Laurent Gbagbo and the president Alassane Ouattara, the Commission Independence declared President Alassane as a winner, and then the institution court declared Laurent Gbagbo as winner. And this lead the country in bloodshed, lead the country in bloodshed. I think this is it's tricky. It's not the same situation, not the same configuration with the Congo, but opposition said accused President Tshisekedi for putting on all these big institutions. People come from his region. We saw in debates the president of Seni say something very important. He said that I can be from the same region with the president, but I may not do whatever he say to do. That's just me say that you can be in the top of a institution, you are coming from the president area, but you're not doing what the president say. That means you are really respecting the law. But the opposition are claiming that this election will not be fair, this election will not be transparent, and this result will take the country in the trouble. What you have to say about that?
First of all, I will start with that question about having a president of the electoral body being from the same part of the country with the president. So let's say we have to put somebody else who is not from the same part of the country as the president, but still among the candidate, you will find one of them who is from the same part of the country with that president of the electoral body. So does it mean that that president will try to favor the candidate who is from the same part of the country with him, even if it's not the incumbent president? No, like it's all come to how the rules are set. And I want to say that the president of the national electoral body doesn't make decision by himself. There's a college. There's people around him who are from different part and from even different political origin. Okay, political organization. Now, when the opposition says that they won't believe in the result, so we have the people from the former political, I mean the people from the former president Joseph Kabila, the PPRD and FCC. That's how we call it.
Yeah, they just declare that they will
Yes,
not also accept
that's
anything that linked to
yes, that
Felix
was obvious
Tshisekedi.
because they didn't took part into the process because they didn't believe that the process will be fair. But for those of opposition who decided to take part of the process, I mean, let's be honest. If you don't believe, just do like the paper day and people, Kabila people, just stay out of the game. But if you decide to come into the game, just play the game up to the end. Use the legal means that you have to show to the constitutional court and the whole world that Tshisekedi didn't win election because of this and this and this and this and that. Because at the end, this is the problem that we have. When we have election in Congo, or let's say this specific election 2023, for the opposition to admit that the process is fair and regular, it should be an opponent, somebody from opposition who has to be proclaimed as the president. As long as it's not it's not one of them. It's the President Tshisekedi. No matter what you say, for them, there's not. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to accept that, and that's the problem. And that's why I was talking about electoral culture. That when you go to election, you have to be prepared to either win or to lose. Or if you don't believe that you lost election, you have to be prepared to use the legal means to make your contention accepted by the jurisdiction that is in charge of the matter. So pretty much, I hope that things are going to stay at that level and that we're not going to have a lot of violence in the country. What happened in Ivory Coast is that we didn't, or they didn't respect the way things had to be done because the National Election Commission cannot give the final result. In every country, they always give whatever result they give is provision. Like you should wait for the highest constitutional body to confirm. So what happened between the national election and the constitutional council or court or over there? We can't really say. I can't really tell because it's political. But as far as law is involved, the final say it should be to the constitutional court, even in Congo. No matter what the national electoral body will say or announce, there is a time frame within which the constitutional court has to look into the matter and say, "Hey, the one that was proclaimed by the constitutional by the the national electoral commission is the one we want." Or they will say it didn't win. We have to start over. Like the constitutional court has a final say. So that's part of the game. And if you want to play the game of democracy, you have to accept that we have all to go through that process. And whoever win, whoever lose.
So most of the people I talk to, I ask them the question: how do you see the new president, if he will be elected, the president Felix Antoine Tshisekedi, if he's elected, how did you see him? Most of them said, look, the Felix Tshisekedi you need who gets a power in 2018 is not the Felix Tshisekedi that is going for the second terms if he win, because he has changed and he has developed a lot of things that will be strong enough for all those people who are trying to play with the Congo. Let's say like a neighboring country like Rwanda and Uganda, all those countries, they don't want the President Felix to be back because he will be another Felix Antoine Tshisekedi with a strong word, with a strong commitment for his country. That's what most of told me. But on the other side, other people told me that, look, Felix Tshisekedi was surrounding with very bad people in the system, corrupt, and there is a lot of people that he has to change is the system, the people who are surrounding him, so that he can make his power credible, strong, and bring Congo in the high levels.
Very quickly, on the first aspect, I will say that a country as like Congo need a strong political leadership, and I will explain why. Because the Democratic Republic of Congo is the only country who is surrounded by nine borders, nine countries, and you know that Congo is like a very big is a very big country that was gifted with that is gifted with natural resources. So all over it can come from any part of the country, any part of the border, that some people want to come in and take control of the resources. So that's why I say that a country as Congo need a strong political leadership. And as far as Felix Tshisekedi is concerned, if you look the way he started in 2019 and up to now, you can see that it's a different person. He's growing in confidence. He's growing and in the way he speaks and even the way he has been dealing with the situation in the eastern part. At first, when he came, people didn't understand why he tried to approach Paul Kagame, because he was trying to show that we are open to talk and fix the situation if you are honest in your revendication or whatever you want, because we are tired of seeing our own people dying. But at the end of the day, we all know that it didn't work, and I don't want to put much comment on that. But President Tshisekedi has shifted his speech now to say that enough is enough. if we have to go at war just to free the country, we will do that. So you can tell that he's going, hopefully, as it goes, he's going to win this election. So he's going for his second term with much determination to bring a better situation for the country. And this is the kind of speech, this is the kind of attitude that the Congolese people, from inside the country and from the diaspora, want to listen to hear, and also what they want to see. You see. Now, on the second part of your question, you talk about the casting, the people he chooses. I'm not gonna like criticize whatever he did on the first, because he knows which reason just led him to choose a couple of people. But what is obvious is that some of the people in his surrounding didn't deliver the job, didn't do exactly what he was expecting from them, because he said that himself. You see. And the president, when you are the president of the country, you can't be everywhere at the same time. You need people who are able to carry on your vision on every side of life and try to implement what you want to see happening. So I will say that in the next term, of course, he will have to improve his casting, try to get the best competency in the country, try to make sure that he get her, because I believe that there's a lot of Congolese who are smart and we can help him to push the country forward. So it's now up to him to be open to choose the right people and to put them in the right position. And I'm pretty sure that he's very smart. He's smart enough. He has learned from his first term, and definitely the second one should be better. That's our expectation.
Hmm. Okay. So the dual citizen has always be a problem for Congo as well. As a lawyer professor, the professor in law, do you think that if President Tshisekedi win, or whether Martin Fayulu win, or Moise Katumbi win, or Denis Mukwege win, uh, the one will be the next president for Congo. Uh, do you think that Congo should work on that dual citizen? Let's say, for example, you have many Congolese in diaspora, in Belgium, in France, in US, in UK, in Germany. They are all over the world. So don't you think that our constitution will take care about this situation? Because I remember the president answer to that question. He says that, like us, we went in exile during Mobutu period. We have to stay there for uh, study, for doing some stuff. Even we have to change our name to get another name so that we cannot be tracked. So there are also people who lived abroad. They have another citizen because of their safety. When they come back in Congo, they don't have their rights again, because our constitution say you should, when you get another nationality, you lose your nationality of origin. That means you're no more Congolese. Don't you think that the government should work in that case, so that those who has a dual citizen, that they can come freely in Congo, then they can have a chance also to to get a high profile
I'm
position.
a big supporter of the dual citizenship, and I will explain why. Because I believe that one of the greatest resources when you build a country is the human capital, the human resources. So we have a lot of Congolese who had to go to run away from the country because of the economic situation. But they went abroad, they learned much, too much, that they can bring back to the country. But sometimes they can't get access to a couple of position or doing some business just because they on the paper they don't have the Congolese citizenship anymore, because the Congolese law does not allow dual citizenship. But if you remember when Felix Tshisekedi was campaigning for his first term, he announced that that's something that is going to change if he become president, and he has made a step toward that because now, even if you have a dual citizenship, by the time you can prove that originally you are Congolese, when you get to the airport, uh, you just get a visa on the at the airport and you can get in the country. But it's not yet what we are looking for. The problem is, I think if they're slowing down the process, it because there is still that fear about the situation in the eastern part of the country where we don't really know who is doing what, you see. But what I want to say is that the problem is not to change the law, but the problem is to have an administration in the country who is able to control exactly who is who. Because even today, we have foreigners who are using our Congolese passport and making themselves like they call themselves Congolese and they can even give you show you the passport, but while they are not really Congolese. So the problem is at the level of the control, being able to control and to know who is who. That's number one. Secondly, um, there is a way because there is a fear about couple of the bordering countries. That's a problem of what we call that we can fix it in what we call logistic, the way you write the law. You can recognize the dual citizenship, but you can put restrictions that will allow you to control who can enjoy the dual citizenship and who cannot, based on the history, the political history of the country. So this is something that required to bring Congolese experts in that specific area to advise the government how to do it. So it's doable at the level of the law. So that's what I can say. That we should capitalize on Congolese who are outside of the country and who can bring more to the country. And we should also remember that at the end of the day, Africa is going through a move where people should be able to move between countries without much issues. So we need to look into all of that and try to see how we balance the need to protect the our country from infiltration and the also the need to remain open to other Africans and people being free to come and go out of our country the same way that we Congolese can go and visit other countries. So pretty much we just need to learn and study and bring up expert on the question and figure out how we can make it happen. But I'm a big supporter of the dual citizenship because we have a lot of Congolese who can bring.
Okay, great. So let's come back to the four big potential candidates for this presidential election. We have President Felix Tshisekedi, we have President Moise Katumbi, we have Martin Fayulu, we have also Denis Mukwege. When you watch, you follow up, you remember, you reverse what they have done for the campaign. Which side, what you will say about their strong way and their weakness, each one of them?
So just to make sure that I understood the question, like you say, weakness in terms of how they came into these elections. Or
When, as a politician, with the right way doing the politics, what's how Chisekedi is a strong, and what's the weakness for Chisekedi? How is a strong and how is a weak? The same for Moise Katumbi and the others.
every human being, every politician has always a strong and a weak side because there's nobody who is perfect. President Tshisekedi, I mean, it's very hard to point out to his weakness, but of course, he should have a couple of them. Maybe. the fact that couple of the promises he made to the citizens were not done. But that one, I will say that it makes sense, because when you look at a politician all over the world, there is nobody who come into office and who is able to accomplish 100% of everything that they promise, even though we know that during the campaign we do promises as if everything are going to go smooth, but there is always challenges along the ways. So maybe that might be what I can call like a little weakness. But the strong part of Felix Tshisekedi is that, first of all, most of Congolese look at him like one of us. Um, uh, 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 People look at him like somebody who understand easily the language of the people, who understand easily the need of the people. You see, because he grew up. Of course, he spent a lot of time in Belgium because of the situation with President Mobutu. But he has been surrounded by Congolese people his whole life, so he's one of us. You see, that's one of his biggest advantage, and as well, the fact that he's coming from a political party that has been in the struggle to bring democracy in the country. So UDPS is a big political party, and if you look at is the work that his dad has done for the country, so people look at him in such a way that we hope, we put our expectation that he will achieve or finish whatever his dad wanted to bring for the country. You see, so that is a strong, I think, one of a strong aspect of his political way. So I think that he should capitalize on that. That I'm a president. I will stay in power for 2 terms. So I should do my best to bring the dream of my late dad, my political party, my people, to come to pass, to improve the life of Congolese. So I think that he's aware of that, and he will work on that, and that should be one of the strongest points for him. If I go to Moise Katumbi has the benefit of the fact that he has been into business, he has been into managing. Yes, so he knows about how to maybe bring economic opportunity, go around, and it's something that the country need. I'm not sure if it should only happen at the presidential level, but we need that management skill. You see, but the problem is that Maurice Katumbi um, um, is coming from a political party that is still very weak. Ensemble, the one that he created, is not really established in the country. It's more in the eastern part or in the ex-Katanga part, a little part of it. So the past 5 years, he should have worked to make his political party established in the country. Take time to explain his vision to the people, but at the same time, we have come to notice that he has some issue when it comes to communication. So it's something that he need to work on, maybe for the next cycle, if he want to improve. As for Martin Fayulu, I will also say that a lot of people on the western part look at him like one of us. You see, Martin Fayulu, he has been in politics since he was very young. He was at the national conference back in the days, and people know him like somebody who has always speak for change for the country. But the problem with Martin Fayulu is that he has stayed on that experience of 2018. He didn't move forward. He didn't understand that things happen. I lost election, or maybe I won, but maybe they didn't proclaim me as a president. It's fine, but you need to move forward. You need to work on better perspective. And the mistake that he made, he went to this election in this election by himself. didn't bring any partnership. Or, as I explained to you from the beginning, there is no way, no matter who you are, you can win election in Congo without partnership. It's not possible because people in different part of the, I'm sorry. Yeah, the Mukwege, Mukwege, the problem is that he came into this election by improvisation. Like it doesn't look like it was prepared for that. It just came at the end like, okay, I'm gonna be a candidate for president, but it doesn't work like that. There's an underground work that you need to do. So now the problem is you come into election, you are the Nobel Prize known in the world, but it doesn't mean that in the whole country, back deep in the country, that they understand what it means. You need to make yourself known. You need to work, and that's the part that's the weakness that he has. And unfortunately, the consequence of that is that he has been splitting the voice that could have been gathered for the opposition.
So, Professor, what will be your word? You would send a strong message you would send to people, Congolese people, regarding the elections, and how do you see the Congo in 5 coming years?
Say to my Congolese people that we need to stand united, no matter who win election, because we only have one Congo. We don't have another one. It's our country. We need to work together and strengthen our democracy, strengthen our country so that we can protect our country against all those people who want to see Congo always weak or Congo always divided. We need to accept that we are at a level where we still trying to perfect our democracy and election, but that should not remove the love that we need to keep for each other. So we need to stand united and keep up that there is better tomorrow and better future for Congo, which I really believe, because when it comes to loving the country, Congolese love their country, despite the fact that couple of people in power has been misusing the public fund. But we believe that there are Congolese who are really determined to pay the price to see the country to go forward. So let's stand united, no matter who win the election. We don't need to bring violence. Let's work together and let's look into the same direction. That's what I can say.
Professor Christian, thank you so much for those strong words. We hope to see you.
Mhm. Thank you so much, and thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Dear viewer, we thank you so much for the time you spend with us to listening and to understand the geopolitics of Congo, the situation of election and the future of Congo. We also talk about some profile. We talk about the President Felix Tshisekedi. We talk about opposition persons, and we hope that you will discover a new Congo, maybe for the 5 coming years. So we thank you and we say goodbye.